Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. Today we are talking about making friends in your 20s. So one of my goals for 2024 was to make more friends that live near me. All of my friends have a tendency to move away, and I love them. Go live your dreams, be your best self, bestie. But that means that I don't have anyone here anymore. So I have really been putting off going out, making friends, because it's hard. It genuinely is hard to do. So this is my way of doing that. So I thought that I would make a list of ways to make friends because it can be really hard. I graduated college, so I am not really in a social setting outside of work where I'm just meeting people all the time. And I feel like when you're in school or you're still doing clubs with people, then you kind of have to be friends with them to a certain extent. You have to navigate your issues, and if something upsets you, you have to talk it out. Whereas when you're an adult, you don't have to see someone every day, and if they say something you don't like, you don't have to be friends forever. No one's forcing you to be friends, or there's not an environment where you're really forced to get along outside of work, which has its pros and its cons. It just makes it a lot easier to not have friends or to not maintain relationships, and that's not what we want to do. So one of my goals was to make friends, and by golly, we're doing it. So let's talk all about how to make friends as a woman in your 20s. Before I jump in, don't forget to follow on whatever platform you are currently listening or watching on. I upload every single Sunday and Wednesday and make podcast episodes catered to helping women find their passion, their calling in life, meet their goals, and vibe with a community of people who all feel the same way. So if that interests you, join us, bestie. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Okay, so I got tips from all over the internet. I scoured the internet looking for the best possible tricks and tips and life hacks to help you. One thing I will say is you are gonna have to be brave if you're an introvert. You're gonna have to go out of your way. You're gonna have to do things that feel uncomfortable or awkward. You're gonna have to make the first move sometimes and be like, hey, my name's blah, blah, blah. What's up? You're gonna have to do uncomfortable things. Get out of your comfort zone, especially if you're an introvert. If you're an extrovert, honestly, you probably already have a lot of friends. So most of the people watching this are probably more on the introverted side. I'm right there with you. It's hard, it's awkward, it can be very difficult, but we are in this together. So I do want to put that disclaimer there. It's gonna take work. Some friendships just fall into your lap, but more often than not, you have to seek out friendship, and so you're gonna have to go out of your way to do that. And I don't want you to feel discouraged by that. There's people out there for you. Your people are out there. I know I have days where I'm like, man, I just don't feel like there's anyone out there who gets my sense of humor or has the same interests as me or isn't passionate about the same things. And so I get really down on myself, and I'm like, maybe I'm just meant to be lonely, or I'm just meant to not have that many friends near me. And that's not the case. I just haven't found my people yet that are local to me. And you maybe haven't found your people yet either, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. So I just wanted to say that to encourage you that just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. So let's go ahead and talk about these tips. Firstly, reach out to people you already know that maybe you're not as close with, like Facebook friends, Instagram friends, people from your sorority, people from high school. There's people that you are acquaintances with that you haven't taken the time to get to know, that are just sitting in your friends on your social media, or just sitting in your Snapchat friends, or just a text away, or maybe you see them once a week through work. There's people that you have the potential to have friendships with. You're just gonna have to go out of your way to make that first move. Invite them to get coffee, ask them if they want to go to lunch. It doesn't have to be some crazy elaborate hangout. It's not really you're going on a date. Just show up as yourself and ask them to hang out. Be super casual. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can be honest and say, yeah, I really want to grow some friendships this year. Like, my goal is to make more friends. It's been really hard. Like, don't trauma dump before you even hang out, but you can be honest and say, yeah, I just really would love to be friends with you. Let's hang out and go from there. Definitely start with the people that you already know and are already in your life, just waiting to grow as a friendship. Also, catch up with old friends. You may have friends that you used to be really close with and you don't talk to them anymore. You grew apart or you moved away or whatever. Like, whatever the case may be, you probably have a lot of friends that you just aren't that close with anymore, but at one point you were, and life just got in the way. I know one of my best friends, we were friends all through high school, and then we were never like best friends, but when I graduated, I moved away and she went to college, and then probably my senior year of college, I randomly texted her, or I guess it was my junior year. I randomly texted her, or she slid up on my Snapchat, something like that. And we realized that in that time we had grown a lot and we had so much in common, and now she's one of my closest friends. And had we not reconnected, like, we probably would still never be friends. And that relationship is like so important to me and I value it so much that, yeah, that's just like a story about, a success story about how you should reach out to old people and those old relationships and rekindle them if it's something that you feel like you both would enjoy, or like you didn't end on a bad note and truly like there's potential there. Go for it. Make sure that you are in the appropriate environments to meet people. Think about who you would want to be your friend, and obviously, like, you don't stick to that 100%. If you meet someone who's awesome, but they don't check all of your boxes for a friend, don't write them off. Still see it through. The diversity of having friendships that aren't all exactly like you is so important, and that's what helps you grow as a person. But if you could write down your ideal friend, what would their age range be? What would they be interested in? I'm assuming it's similar things to what you're interested in. What kind of job do they have? And then hang out in those kinds of places. Go to coffee shops, go to bookstores, go out to the bars. Meeting girls in the bar bathroom, guys, we're all so friendly. Like, that is such a good way to make friends, because if you are a social drinker like myself, I'm a little bit less awkward when I am a little bit tipsy, and so I make friends, and it's a lot easier for me to ask for like Snapchats and things like that and build those friendships because I don't have that awkward sense to me. Not the sun literally blinding me. Sorry guys if you're watching this, just completely disregard how terrible the lighting just got. But as I was saying, it's a lot easier to make friends in those situations because I tend to be more awkward and introverted, so that's how I've made quite a few friends. Also, though, there's other great places like the dog park. I've met friends there because I love my dog. I love people who also love their dog. And if you go to the one by campus, which is the one I went to when I was in college, then a lot of the other people who go are also in college. And so we have a lot in common from that. Just go places where you feel like there's going to be a lot of people and plant yourself in a situation where you can make friends. If you're sitting at home, then you're not going to really be in a situation where you're making friends because you're isolating yourself. I know growing up, especially if you grew up around the same time I did, everyone always said, don't make internet friends, that you could be catfished and all that, which is true. That could still be a thing. But another one of my closest friends came from meeting her on the internet, and we both loved One Direction. Back in middle school is when I met her, and we are still very close friends, literally like over 10 years later. So that being said, obviously practice safe internet browsing. Don't be getting catfished, but join groups where there's people who have similar interests to you, especially if it's in your city. Like, we have groups for people in our city that are interested in dogs, interested in books, interested in Taylor Swift. Like, there are so many, especially on Facebook, that I'm personally a part of, and I have made friends through that. it's hard to be friends on the internet and then turn that into hanging out in person, but you just have to be courageous and ask. Like, if you see someone who cracks a joke on a Facebook post that you think is funny, start a conversation with them and then like see where it goes. Someone is riding a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot of room through social media to connect and feel closer to people and make friends, especially in your area. So use it as a tool. Definitely be safe, but you can use it as a tool. Make conversation with people you come across naturally. Like if you go to a coffee shop and someone is in line behind you and you start talking, that could be a new friend. So don't feel like you have to totally rearrange your life and literally schedule to go these places and meet new people, but definitely be courageous. And if you meet someone out and about that you think will be a great friend, ask for their Snapchat, hang out with them, slide up on their stories and say hi. Like, make sure you are still engaging with these people outside of that one conversation to foster a friendship. You need to put work into it before that's your best friend. They may not be your best friend yet, but they're not going to become your best friend if you never talk. So make sure you, like, I'm not saying to like watch every single story and kind of be like stalkerish or whatever, but if they post a story and their dog's really cute, comment on it and be like, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. Or if I know people that I've met at work, like maybe the interns. I was really close with our interns last summer because we are like close in age, and they left and I really didn't even talk to them super often when they were there because we worked in different departments, but I comment on almost all of their Instagram stuff and they comment on mine. Like, we still interact on social media and have made a point to continue that friendship. Also, make sure you're checking in with people that you do have friendships with where you may not be super close. Like, just checking in and being like, hey, how was your Easter? Just checking in to see how you're doing. How's your job? Like, people appreciate that and they're gonna see that and remember it, honestly. Like, they're gonna remember you being a good friend, a loyal friend, checking in, being genuinely interested in what they have to say. Honestly, if all else fails, at the end of the day, people just want to be heard. So ask them questions and they'll want to like be heard. Like, they'll talk to you and want to feel like you heard. And as long as you show them that you understand what they're saying, you're listening, and you appreciate them, that's all people really want in life, you know? At least that's my opinion on it. But definitely be consistent. You know, show up to things if you say you're going to. Don't cancel last minute. Make sure you're continuing conversations. Don't just expect them to do all the work after you start texting or hanging out or whatever. It's going to take time to find the right person, and you can't get discouraged over that, but you also need to, you know, keep a positive mind and be open to it. One little life hack is to make a friend who already has a lot of friends. Don't like seek this out. Like, literally don't be getting to know someone and be like, so how many friends do you have? But if you do become friends with someone who has a lot of friends, then hang out with those friends as well. Like, that's a really quick and easy way to grow your friend group. And like I said, don't just become friends with someone because they have a lot of friends, but if you are looking for someone to become friends with and they do happen to have a lot of friends, don't be afraid to hang out with that group in addition to your friend and grow your friend group and mesh into their friend group to become a part of it as well. Very easy way to make a lot of friends. That's what I've done on multiple occasions when I've like gone to college and in high school and stuff. Just join an already existing friend group through someone that you meet. Obviously, this one is pretty like standard. You probably already knew this, but make friends through work. It can be hard. I know for me it's hard because there's not a lot of women my age at work, but keep trying. Don't be afraid to talk to people when you're getting coffee or in the bathroom or, you know, just throughout the day, because you spend probably at least 40 hours a week with these people. You should make friends with them, and then you can go get drinks after, or go get pizza after, or go shopping after. Like, there's so many things you can do after work with these people, and you're already together, so it's like you can go on lunch together. It's really fun to have friends at work, so I highly recommend that. I haven't tried it personally, but a lot of people said they have made friends through Bumble BFF. So, like I said, I don't know anything about it. I was always kind of wary to get on any sort of app like that because I didn't want it to be misconstrued as I was on like a dating app, because Josh and I are obviously very much dating, very much in a relationship, and I didn't want him to be like, why do you have Bumble on your phone? What the heck? And, or like for anyone else to see it. So, what the heck? Sorry, someone just like swerved in front of my house. You good, bro? Okay, sorry. Very distracted. But that is something I've thought about, like just giving Josh a heads up, like, hey, I think I'm gonna download Bumble BFF and like get his thoughts on it, because I genuinely want to know what he would think about it. But I have heard through a lot of people that they've made really good friends on there. So, interesting. Join a group fitness class. I want to do yoga. I really want to get into yoga. I used to go to yoga classes back in college, but they were free because college. And now I don't want to pay a really aggressive amount for yoga, especially if it's not regular yoga, because I don't particularly like hot yoga. But I'm getting on a bit of a tangent here. But I've heard people make friends in fitness classes, so that's something I definitely want to try. If you're a cycle girly, pop off. I am not. I've tried it once and I had to leave the class early because I literally almost died. So we love that. It was super embarrassing for me, but we're good. One thing that I've done a couple of times is talk to the barista at a coffee shop, like when they're making your coffee, and or like they're at the cash register and someone else is making your coffee, and you're just awkwardly standing there. Talk to them, make a conversation, ask them how their day has been, get to know them, and then like as you become a regular, because I'm a regular at a lot of the coffee shop places I go to, you'll get to know them. And then once you are comfortable, ask them if they want to go get dinner or something, or like, hey, would you want to go to a bookstore with me? Or hey, I know you mentioned you like thrift shopping, we should go together sometime. And make it very natural. If you work from home, make sure you are getting outside of the house when you work. So go to a coffee shop, like I mentioned, a library. I'll literally go get food and go to like somewhere low key and just set up shop there. There are so many places. Take your dog to the dog park and work there. Go to a regular park. Lots of places where you can work if you are doing something where you're not like on the phone with clients and stuff. So get out of the house and put yourself in situations where you can meet people and be social instead of just sitting at home. Look for fun activities and ask someone to join. I know a really common thing I see is someone will post in like one of our city Facebook groups. Like we have one just for women in our city, and they'll post like, oh, look at this event. This looks so fun. Does anyone want to go with me? You could be the person who posts that. You should be the person who posts that. Or there's a bunch of comments under it usually that are like, I want to go, let's go. So you can comment under there and say you want to go, or comment under somebody else's comment and say, hey, can I join? Like, there are so many situations that I've seen like that on Facebook where the people end up becoming friends. So look for fun activities and either post about them or have someone, or see that someone else posted about them and ask to join. Volunteer in your city area. Do something that you are passionate about. So if you like animals, the Humane Society. If you're passionate about the environment, the park is always looking for volunteers. If you're passionate about legal stuff, go to the city council or somewhere like that. If you like babies, you can volunteer in the daycare at your church. Like, if you go to church. If not, there's situations similar to that you can do, but that was like the one that came to mind for me. But there's so many things to volunteer and get involved with if you are someone who is interested in volunteering. I think it's a great way to help your community, and you're also going to meet new people because you're going to volunteer with people. I actually volunteered for a bunny rescue a couple years ago, and that's how I got one of my bunnies. So there are, I know that's not like a person, but I'm friends with my bunny. I think he's pretty dope. But anyway, there are so many great ways to meet people, especially through volunteering, and anything that you're interested in, I'm sure there's a way you can volunteer for it. So definitely get involved. Those are all of the tips I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it. Like I mentioned previously, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and comment to boost that engagement and join our community. I love you guys so, so much. I upload every single Sunday and Wednesday. If you're watching this on the Wednesday it comes out, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching this any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. I will see you guys later. I love you so much. Bye.
You was the first